You don't see it at all? That's interesting.
Nope.
Interesting. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Look at these guys.
How we doing?
Chop.
How we feeling?
Look at these guys. Chop, chop, like dance monkey.
These people.
These people. How's everybody doing today? Hump day. Yeah. What a fantastic day. Yesterday, I went to I had to do a field trip with my son, and they went to a cave. It was like this.
Oh, it was a cave?
Cave tour thing. Okay. So the teacher told them originally, that, they could wear, they basically said, wear clothes and shoes and things that you don't mind getting dirty or whatever. It's going to be really messy down there, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So she even specifically said, if you have Crocs, wear Crocs. Okay, great. So I was not allowed to go down in the cave. The wife forbid me to go down in the cave because I'm technically not allowed to do stuff like that until like a year out of surgery or whatever. Right. So yeah. I was like, fine, I won't go down in the cave. I'll just, hang out or whatever. So we get there, and first of all, it was pouring down rain, which you think, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal in a cave. I mean, you're going to be inside. Absolutely not. Huge deal, because the water level raises in the cave as it rains, right? So they warned the children before they even go in there, by the way, you're going to be in at least waist, if not chest deep water, 90% of the time in this cave. And I was like, what?
How is that not a safety concern?
How is that not a safety? Exactly. Right. So there was that. Then they go on to say, Crocs are not allowed, which is exactly the shoes that my son wore. So there were 4 other kids that had Crocs on that entire time. And I forgot to hit the timer. And, so they basically, the teacher threw a fit because she was like we asked and we were told that these were fine. Now you're changing your mind, whatever. So they had all the kids. They were like, if you are wearing Crocs, raise your hand. So like all 5 kids raised their hand. They gathered them all up and they took them out to this barn where they had a bunch of equipment. And then one at a time, the kids walked out of the barn wearing these like really crummy looking tennis shoe things or whatever. Obviously, these were shoes that were lost in the cave at some point.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like that's what they looked like. Well, my son, who is only 12, I thought at my height I had big feet. I wear 12s. Right? I don't know what size shoe you wear, Mr. Brian, but
11 and a half wide, so almost 12.
Yeah, okay. So I wear 12s, and I was like, it got a little, rough to wear 12s, as I was getting, it's like harder to find shoes in stock at 12. So my son at 12 years old wears 13s, and he's almost in 14s. Okay. And I knew as soon as I saw that first kid come out, I was like, they're never it's going to be like the Wizard of Oz. There's nothing in that bag for me, and I knew he was going to walk out with no shoes on with no shoes available to him. And sure enough, he walks out with no shoes available to him. So I went with the assumption that I was not going down in the cave. And I went with my nice, pretty white sneakers.
Oh.
And I said, listen, dude, because he was upset. Like, he was going to be the only person in his entire class not to be able to go down there because all the other kids got shoes. And I said, listen, these shoes are very like stretchy. They're like canvasy type or mesh type tennis shoes or whatever. I said, your toes are going to be kind of like poking out a little bit, but you can wear my, if you can squeeze into them, you can wear my shoes. And we put them on him, and he went, and they are destroyed.
So you shared it on, I think it was an Instagram story, and I thought you stepped in caca.
Ah, yeah. No,
it looked like
it might as well have been. It might as well have
literally just a mound of brown smeared all over those perfectly pristine white shoes.
Yeah.
Which is almost kind of low key I don't want to say it's your fault and shift accountability to you, but like I would not have worn the nice white shoes whether I'm there going down into the cave or not. So I feel like
I was told this. My instructions were
right.
I understand what you're saying,
but
I understand what you're saying. My instructions initially going on this thing were they were going to split the kids up in halves. Half of them were going to stay in the gift shop, right? And the other half were going to go in the caves. And so I was in charge of the gift shop kids. So I thought I was going to be indoors in a gift shop. No big deal, right? And here's the thing is the shoe, like they're comfy. Like if I'm going to be on my feet all day, like they were comfy shoes. And that's why I wore them, right? They're like the comfiest shoes I own. Okay. Outside of my own Crocs, which I'm lucky I didn't wear those because then we really would have been in trouble. But
how would you have been in more trouble with the Crocs?
Because he wouldn't have had shoes to wear.
Oh, true. Right.
So anyway, he got to go. He had a fantastic time at the price of my beautiful white sneakers.
But you know what? That is a memory he's going to have for the rest of his life. And I remember being the kid that, couldn't go because the parent didn't sign the permission slip or some stupid stipulation. So like, I mean, obviously it's all worth it. It's all good, whatever. But yeah, it looked like you stepped in a big giant pile of Lego Star Wars drama is what you look like you stepped in.
Well, honestly, who knows what was under that water? I mean, that was the thing, right? Like it was them just wading in water they said it never got chest high when they were in there. It was only waist high, but like they were swimming. I mean, they were literally swimming the entire time. It was a fun. We all, so this is the second time I've ever had to drive or chaperone a field trip for my son's school, right? The other time was several years ago, and we got all the way back to the school, and just as we pulled into the parking lot, the one of the kids that was in my car threw up all over my car. Okay. Let me preface the story with that. So the entire time I've been making jokes about like how like the last time I did this, I didn't want this, that this has happened. This is why I've never volunteered to do this again. And So we start driving. This place is 2.5 hours away. So we spent 5 hours in the car yesterday, by the way. Okay. We were about 30 miles out, and we hit these roads that led to this cave, and the entire last 30 miles of this road was this, and then sometimes this and this. Okay. Finally, we were about 15 miles out, and one of the kids goes, "I'm going to puke." And I went, "The heck you are." So then like everybody was like grabbing, we had plastic bags and stuff in the back for all the dirty clothes because we knew the kids were going to get dirty. We just didn't know the extent. And so we're grabbing all these plastic bags and like throwing them at this kid and everything. And he's like, no, I think I'm okay. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not sure. And I was like, do I need to pull over? That's what I need to know. I need to know, right. Do I need to pull over or not? No. Well, maybe. Tell me what I need to do. That's
kids. That's a 12-year-old for you.
So, yeah. So he made it. Okay. The other cars, the other chaperones didn't. There were so many kids that threw up in their car. Because of these windy freaking roads, man. And then we get all the way there, and we've all seen. We're all done, and at the end of the day, I thought they organized this very poorly. But it was after the caves, right before we all drive home. That's when they want all the kids to eat lunch. And I said, well, no, you should have fed them before they went into the cave, so they had time to digest their food and everything like that. But they fed them right before he left. And I swear to God, you've all seen Home Alone, and you've all seen the scene with Fuller drinking the Pepsi, the kid that wets the bed and knows he's going to wet the bed, so he's drinking the Pepsi on purpose to be okay. So this little kid, I told him before he grabbed his lunch, I said, listen, if you have even an inkling of idea that you're going to get sick on the way home, do not eat a big lunch. You eat a couple things and that's it. Just get your stomach full, just a little bit, and move. And I swear to God, I looked over at him and he's stealing everybody else's food, all of their cookies and their bags of chips. And every bite, he's just staring at me, eating more and more and more. I'm just yelling, you knock it off. My God.
Speaking of not wetting the bed, I'll be right back. I don't want to accept.
You don't want to wet the chair?
Mr. Rutledge upset on the show we're doing.
This kid, oh my God, just the entire time, just staring at me, just eating. And then somebody would be like, I've got an extra bag of chips, and he'd jump up and he'd be like, I'll take them. And I'm like, would you sit down? Would you sit down? Stop eating the food. You know what this kid also did? So we brought, my son and I brought a little cooler and a sack of stuff to eat while we were there and whatever. And one of the things that the wife just threw in there was just like a box of cookies, right? So we could just grab a couple out of the box as opposed to using a plastic bag. Well, when we got back to the school, this same kid reached into that sack without me seeing it and grabbed that entire box of cookies and bounced. That kid stole our entire box of cookies, man. Stop the children. I swear to God, this kid, if I see him again, I'm going to smack him. This freaking kid.
Dude.
My God.
Kevin has the worst of those stories because I think he got dehydrated. I think it was dehydration and he had to go to the hospital because he passed out. That's probably the worst of any of the voluntary stories and things other than the puke. I basically have understood when the time comes for me, don't allow the kids to do anything fun. Let them suffer unless it's the county fair. Heat stroke twice, right? Yeah, no heat stroke, no caves. You're going to go to the carnival. I'll give you $20 and we'll call it a day. That's the extent of what I'm allowing my future fictitious children to do.
Kids are going to grow up hating joy just like
Bricks No fun O'Brien. Zone.
No fun
no
zone.
Fun zone.
Hating joy just like Bricks O'Brien. Ladies and gentlemen, hashtag overrated O'Brien. Here we go. Welcome to Z&B Live Unfiltered. I wish I could just make these stories up. I wish these stories weren't so good because they were completely fabricated. I really do. I really wish this stuff did not happen to me, but by God, they do. I don't get it. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, good to see ya.
Hey, man. It's great to be here every week, 10 a.m., live on YouTube, podcast services afterward. Everybody joining, thank you. We are it. So life for the people watching the show, we're like horizontal, right? And now it's making this uptick, and it's going like a just right up with all of the unbelievable things that are happening within a very condensed period of time. I need more coffee. I need more sleep. I need less of sickening stories in caves and in cars. I need a beach in Miami, but all we're getting is hype. So I'm very excited.
Well, last time you went to a beach in Miami, you ended up in a garage. So
true. That was Fort Myers.
Oh, Fort Myers. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Your Florida luck is a little. I'm concerned for this next vacation that you might be coming up with. So that's
you're telling me going to Walt Disney World in the middle of August is a bad idea?
I am telling you that. Just pack it. Listen, at this point, just wear a diaper. Well, no, because then it'll get heavy and soggy. Just wear swimming trunks. That's what you do. Just go. It's going to be so much sweat just pouring out of your body and all of the orifices you have. Just wear a swimming
I might drop
suit.
15 pounds at being like a sauna, just a walking sauna everywhere.
Are you gonna leave the hair that long?
Ooh, I should for the sake of it, but no.
It's gonna be so hot. Yeah.
I know.
It's gonna be very
I'll probably.
They have a word for this, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. You know what that word is? Moist.
Getting moist with Bricks O'Brien in August down at Disney. That's the scandal that'll cancel me. Forget about Twitch partner and all of the great things after it. Cancel me now.
Hashtag Moist O'Brien for partner, everybody.
Wow. By the way, thank you everybody for your support. The past several weeks have been unbelievable. They continue to be unbelievable. Marching along as we approach June and Brick World, and I got Paper Mario coming up, all sorts of things. So thank you for being there early and often, and getting your entries in to win that Lego R2D2, which is being done on May 29th. We got to talk about details and what that stream looks like, man. Over on my channel, we got to pull that winner.
I know.
Got to make it look good. It'll be good stuff. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be, once again, I can't emphasize it enough. You've been absolutely killing it. Your community has been absolutely killing it. You're live again tonight.
I am.
And there's lots of big stuff happening tonight that you guys will not want to miss. So make sure you get there early. You stay often. Hashtag just be there. Hashtag just be here, whatever.
I need 100 people there to play the community game night that people spent their hard-earned channel points on. Literally everybody can play it for free. They don't need a Nintendo Switch. They just need to be there. So 100-player community game night. And
that's tonight.
Other surprises too.
So we need 100 people there tonight. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your dogs, tell your cats.
Tell Mima Debbie to get off the rocker and turn on twitch.tv/Bricks O'Brien.
Yes. And I can't thank our audience enough either for being here and supporting the live stream, the live show, ZMB Live here on YouTube every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys so much for hitting those subscribe buttons, hitting those like buttons, those heart buttons, hitting those bell notification icons on the YouTube channel so you guys can be notified. And then don't forget, this show transitions from a live show to a posted show immediately after this live show is done today. So if you could also go ahead and drop a view over there on the posted show as well. All this stuff just helps keep the show growing, keep the show moving, and keep us on the air, which is what we want to do. We got big stuff coming up for you guys later on this year that we cannot wait to share with you. So cannot wait. Good things ahead. You know what's really good coming up, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, is the Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy 4-episode event over on Disney Plus. Oh my God. I saw this trailer live on Twitch and I lost my mind. I was giggling like an idiot the entire time with all of the. These shows are already crazy. The Lego Star Wars events are already a little wacky and crazy and stuff anyway, and I love that about Lego Star Wars. But they turned this son of a gun up to 11, man. It went nuts.
Normally, I do not care at all about the animated Lego Star Wars, whatever it is. They've come out with seemingly hundreds of these different series over the years, starting, I think it was with Yoda Chronicles back in 2013 and a lot of these other things. The fact that they are bundling it with What If from Marvel and making a Star Wars What If in the art style of Lego makes sense and it's just really cool. So the Jedi show they came out with before, that was like Tales of the Jedi was all about what happened before the main timeline we know of. Was that correct?
Tales of the Jedi, yes. The Star Wars show is what you're talking about.
Right. So that was an animated thing.
Yeah.
And then now Tales of the Empire is going to be similar.
Yeah.
Right. When that comes out.
Currently out. Yeah.
Okay. Currently out. So this is a literally Star Wars What If.
Right.
And I'm really surprised they didn't use the animated like series, that art style, that direction to do it. I wonder why they chose Lego Star Wars to do it. Did it have anything to do with the 25th anniversary? Was it a way for them to sell more toys? That's what I'm kind of curious about, because you didn't necessarily need to use Lego to pull this off.
I felt like this was more Lego's doing more than anything, right? I mean, that's, you know, kind of the tail wagging the dog here. Like Lego said, hey, you know, came to Disney, came to Lucasfilm, said, hey, we've got this wacky idea, you know, very similar to what you guys did with, you know, with the Marvel, the MCU, what if, you know, cartoon, the comic book line. But, you know, what if we flip the Star Wars universe on its head? Because what it does is it allows all of these amazing designs that Lego designers have maybe kicked around in their brain for years and years and years to like come to fruition, right? Like it's a way for them to be like all the doodles and things that they've had on paper. You know, what if we turned the, you know, AT-AT Walker into a rebellion AT-AT Walker? Like that's pretty wild, you know. What if Ewoks became bounty hunters? What it, you know, all these things that I'm sure these designers or mock builders or whatever, you know, people playing with Lego. That's what this feels like. It feels like people just playing with Lego and just creating their own world, right? That makes me feel like it's a Lego thing coming to Disney and saying, let's do this. Or it could have just been a meeting of the minds and saying, what do you guys got? You know, and even that's cool. I don't care how they came up with the idea. I'm just thankful they did.
And right now, there's a couple rumors out there, not that we dive into leaks and rumors typically, but for the past, I want to say several months, there's been the rumor of like a Dark Millennium Falcon and a Jedi Bob Starfighter. And if you told me on paper before that trailer came out, like, why on earth would Lego ever make a Starfighter based on a throwaway character from a over 20-year-old Lego set? Now that's the main character of Tales of the Jedi, the person who is probably, you know, the main character going between these different worlds or universe and whatever, the guide, right? The watcher in a similar way. So now it makes a lot of sense. And that is how they can sell all the toys that go with it, where it also reminds me of back in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, where like, you know, we have a new show coming up, but we need to sell more toys. Think of a name, a backstory, and a mold, and let's just do it. And then they figure out all the other stuff afterward. Sure. So it's a great way for them to print money. Great way to do something out of the box. You play into the memes a little bit with Darth Jar Jar, and obviously the Lego Star Wars passionate fans for Jedi Bob and whatever else. So I'm curious though how it'll perform outside of the Lego Star Wars fandom bubble. I don't think your typical Declan, Donald, Tabitha, or Tammy will be like, yeah, and be as gung-ho about it, but I could be totally wrong.
I don't know. I think it's going to hit the demo that it's meant to hit. You know, it's going to be their version of the spicy redhead. It's going to be the people that it's going to be the people that want to consume Lego both in toy form and that want to consume Star Wars in both toy form and in visual media, right? And it's the real question for me is where is it going to stop? I think they've kind of struck gold here with a little bit of this idea of a what if scenario with regards to Star Wars. You get like you said, you get the meme of Darth Jar Jar, which is now, look, we're all teasing. We all call it canon. I mean, it's officially in the Lucasfilm spectrum now. Like it's out there, right? You can't really call any of the Lego Star Wars stuff canon, but for our purposes, let's just say that we know of rumors about sets that were coming out, and we kept scratching our heads going, that's weird. Why would they do this? Why? Yeah, why would they do that? Now it's all making sense. But now it begs the question of, is that all we're getting? Because there's a lot of stuff already people are screaming for that they've seen in the promotional materials for this show. And maybe there's a multiple line of this where we have our initial line and they see how that performs, and then maybe we get a second line. I think this is going to, as long as this show I feel like is good too. I think that helps. The last holiday special that they did was spectacular. It was absolutely spectacular. People couldn't stop talking about it. So if they bring that same quality to this kind of wacky storytelling, which the holiday special was also pretty wacky, but if they bring that same kind of quality to this kind of storytelling, in my opinion, I think that they are just opening the door for more things like this that they can potentially sink their teeth into.
Lego Star Wars in general, I believe, takes itself way too seriously with what they release, and the desire for the accuracy around the minifigures and the sets themselves and what fans expect, the core Star Wars fans might expect from them, is a bit too rough around the edges. So make something fun. Like this is fun. This is like wacky out of the box. So I don't know if I'll be buying any of it, but I don't buy any Lego Star Wars. You know, I haven't bought in a couple years. So like maybe this would be it. But in general, more fun. This is a great step. More of this.
Yeah. I wonder if, because, and again, this is all, you know, not diving too much into what the rumors are, you know, with something like this that is very particular and very specific, there's a chance you're going to get some very particular and very specific, and maybe some would call them exclusive minifigs with these. And so then you start to wonder, are people going to be
exclusive?
buying?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
That's going to be my next shirt, by the way. It's just going to say allegedly, and it's going to have a picture of Rex on it. So they, you know, are people going to be buying these things up in the hopes that that's what they get? And that leads me to the Rex problem that we currently have. And I swear to God, I'm making this shirt. I'm making this shirt today, where it's just a picture of this minifig, and it's just going to have the word allegedly across the top of it, or maybe below it. I'm not sure which. Anyway, we got the Venator back in October, the UCS Venator back in October of 2023.
Did you get that?
I did.
Did you build it?
I did.
I totally forget. I'm paying attention half the time anyways.
Believe it or not, I actually do build some Lego on Twitch. Believe it or not.
Wow. You know,
it came with two minifigs, a Wolf Yularen and a Captain Rex. And at the time, even in the instruction book itself, yeah, that was when I had to wear the Patriots hat the entire time. You don't remember that at all. Brian wasn't watching me. He had banned me.
I do remember that.
Brian had blocked me and banned me on Twitch, and he wasn't watching or allowing me to watch him at all at that time.
That was me dissociating from the Patriots in the 2023 season, but I digress.
They came with both of those minifigs. And at the time, in the actual instruction booklet that came with the UCS Venator, it specifically said the Captain Rex and Wolf Yularen minifigs come with a separate display stand. Both are exclusive to this set, with all new helmet, torso, and head designs to capture the unique traits of these charismatic and central characters in the saga. Now, moving ahead, we have a brand new Lego Star Wars set 75391, a Captain Rex Y-Wing microfighter, which uses the exact same exclusive Rex minifig that Lego once claimed just a few short months ago was going to be exclusive to the UCS Venator. I personally think this is absolutely hilarious. I hate resellers that buy up all the stock of all of these bigger sets to get the exclusive whatever, and then turn around and put it on the internet and say, you need to pay me a ridiculous amount of money because this set is this, you know, you can't get it in the stores or whatever. And here's this thing. Okay. They weren't really like, I looked at the pricing as of this past week. I don't know if it's dropped since the release announcement.
I mean, it has to.
But at the time that I looked at it, Rex was going for around $30 to $35 on the extended on the sites. Okay. Now here's the deal. That set is expensive, right? So the fact that it doesn't cost more is actually surprising to me, considering how we normally find pricing for these things. Now, here's a little tidbit for you. The Yularen is only $20. So the Yularen is actually less currently than the Rex is.
Retail on Venator is $650.
Yeah. But at the time, those are the only places to get those figures, right? So I'm surprised they weren't more.
Yes, I am shocked they are not worth more at the time. I always maintain, and I'll say this probably through now and the end of time, you buy the Lego sets you want because you want the Lego set. When you get into the territory of I'm buying this just for a minifigure or just to have this exclusivity, you get into dangerous territory, because as much as Lego can say, hey, this is exclusive, we're only going to make it for this one thing, multi-billion-dollar company that can change their mind at a moment's notice. Anybody can change their mind at a moment's notice about whatever. It's a matter of what ends up happening. And if anybody out there is a reseller and they are livid that they bought a bunch of these as an investment for the future, guess what? You make a bad investment on the stock market all the time, you lose all your money. Bing, bang, boom. Like this is no different from any other type of long-term investment, and you can only hope for the best. You can only try to predict, but that goes to show that nobody knows any better than anybody else. And you're buying the Venator to keep in box. It's as if the Venator is going to lose its... The Venator is still a very highly exclusive and sought after Lego set, and it'll be that much more so when it's retired to have it all together. So for these people that might be complaining about that, if you're a smart business person, you should not be upset. You just sit on it for even longer and you're good. For the minifigure itself, you're paying $15, $12 after tax, let's say $15 for the minifigure in that Y-Wing. That's only double compared to what it goes for just the figure. So if you wanted that figure that badly, Venator came out November.
October.
You got to have that minifigure 9 months before it was available in a more cost-effective set. That is worth the $15 extra premium you're paying as opposed to having the minifigure in that Y-Wing. I don't see why you'd be upset about that at all. With all of this stuff, it is your perceived value of whatever it is you're having. To me, a copy of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on the GameCube is worth way more than any Lego Star Wars set that's out there. I'd be willing to pay more for that than any Lego Star Wars. So getting upset over that is one of the biggest wastes of energy you can possibly put out into the world, when you could be doing so much more with your time and your life. Buy the things that you enjoy because you enjoy them, not because they're worth money, not because somebody else on the internet is telling you this is worth money and to go buy it. If you buy this, you're cool. Go with what interests you and stay true to that, and avoid all that noise. You're going to save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of headache, and a lot of money.
I'm going to stir the pot a little bit here. And because again, I don't buy Lego. My Lego is not an investment to me. This is something I enjoy.
It's an investment in your happiness.
It's an investment. Well, sure, we'll call it that, but it's not an investment in my retirement. You know what I mean? But I know there are people that do. And I know there are people that, resellers especially, that do that, look for things like this, and they'll try to get their hands on stuff like that. And then, it's the old, thing. You get the new video game system and people buy up all the stock, and then they try to sell them for ridiculous amounts of money and whatever. And it's what is it worth to you at that time? So let me stir the pot a little bit here on this. This is a 100%, this Rex figure is a 100% replica of what's in the Venator set currently. In the Venator set itself, they claim that this and the Yularen are both exclusive figures to this set, to that set. They have now gone against that terminology. I have seen class action lawsuits get pushed through with less. Is there a chance that somebody could start organizing a class action lawsuit for something like this? And will that affect LEGO down the line of quantifying like that set having exclusive minifigs? Do they just take that verbiage out from now on?
Yeah, they'll take it out from now on, of course. And they should have from the beginning. I will not be that person organizing a class action lawsuit. I'm sure you won't be either, because you have other things to do.
I enjoy LEGO.
Yeah, right. I think there are definitely people out there that have that sentiment, and I don't know if anybody who has the time or the know-how and wants to devote the resources into it wants to do it. I think somebody who's more of a figurehead in the community, I guess, could go ahead and do that. Do I think it'll happen? Did crazy things happen in life all the time? I agree. I've seen I've gotten a class action lawsuit from like Godiva, and I only got it because I worked next door to it and I got the free sample once a month. Like that, like, you know, stuff like that happens all the time.
Right.
So, you know, I could, I guess, but like what would be the what do they call it? Restitution?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called from it? Like what would you get from it? Like a portion of the what do you even what do you get?
I don't know. I never understand the payouts.
For? Would you be asking to like cover the perceived value of the minifigure in relation to the vendor? Because they literally, I promise you, LEGO values that minifigure at $10 as part of that entire set.
More than not, class action lawsuits are more at bringing awareness to a particular issue and making sure that issue doesn't happen again versus the actual monetary value of it. That's from my understanding of it, right? Which honestly, the negative feedback surrounding some of the reselling community when it comes to this minifigure may have already moved that needle. So they may not, you may not need to go down that road, but there are definitely some salty folks out there that are very much highlighting this specific passage in that instruction booklet that came with that vendor, saying you have it in black and white, LEGO, that this was exclusive to this set. Nothing in there says for now, nothing that says could be changed down the road, nothing. It just simply says that these are exclusive. These two figures are exclusive to this set. And that does kind of open up a little bit of can of worms for them. It's a simple, don't never put that in the thing again, ever. Keep that word out of it. Don't ever say that, because why close the door on yourself? The fact that LEGO Legal even allowed them to put that in there to begin with blows my mind. Never do that, because you never know what the future is going to bring, right? So again, kind of stirring the pot here a little bit, but just curious as if this affects things down the road for LEGO, especially when it comes to Star Wars, because we all know the Star Wars folks, man, they are rough, and you've ruffled their feathers on the internet. They're coming after you. You know what's not ruffling any feathers at all, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, is this brand new Star Destroyer set that LEGO just announced, debuting in debuting in August, on August 1st. Pre-orders are now available, which I find very interesting and love, because you know me and pre-orders. I love me some pre-orders. But very similar to a lot of the other 25th anniversary sets, this comes with a 25th anniversary exclusive character in Cal Kestis from the Jedi Fallen Order Jedi Survivor games. I'm all for this. There's going to be some folks out there, especially LEGO Star Wars fans, that have no idea who Cal Kestis is. They're going to be like, "Who is this guy?" Because he's not been in any movies or whatever TV. Me, the video game guy that played these games and loved these games, I cannot wait for this. I wish it, had come with like a little BD1, a company minifig to go on his stand with him. But hey, I can't really complain. This set in general tickles me in all the right places, because it really reminded me, as soon as I saw the promotional materials of it, one of the sets or one of the old play sets that we used to get from Hasbro when we were kids that like was a set, and then you'd open it up and it had all the stuff inside, like the different rooms and compartments, and your minifigs could play around in, or not minifigs, but your action figures could play around in them. You could open up the Millennium Falcon and the action figures could play around in the Millennium Falcon. That's what this set reminds me of. It's a beautiful display model, very reminiscent of the MIDI ships that they've been coming out with lately that I love. But then it's got amazing play stuff going on inside of it. You can open it up and play around with it. The one thing that caught me off guard was it didn't come with a stand of any kind. And that is a little peculiar for a set like this that shows off as a pretty display model, and a play set. Even the Batmobiles that are coming out that follow this same kind of pattern, display set / play set, come with some kind of stand. This comes with nothing. And it's an odd shape. It's a Dorito. It's a triangle, right? So I'm assuming it'll sit flat on a table, but I feel like it's going to rock a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is the original gray Dorito, so this gets a pass in my head.
Yeah.
Like all the other ones, I'm like, this is a little smaller compared to what I remember building as a kid, and it being a little more cheaper back in the day. Obviously, a little more archaic, but the amount of minifigures that are in here is pretty great. You get a pretty sizable build. You get something that looks really, really good. Like just as a model, it looks excellent. So we haven't gotten a Star Destroyer, a play scale one in a hot minute. The last one I built was the Ultimate Collector's one. I was all set with that. So that ended up being given away as part of a May the 4th thing with Beyond the Brick years ago. So I have no experience building one as of like fairly recently, especially at that scale. But the fact that you get Darth Vader, all the printing, Cal Kestis is great. Like a slam dunk, an easy 160 to spend if you're a Lego Star Wars fan. I don't really see any justifiable complaints here. It even has the handle in the middle there that pops out of the top, so you can swoosh it around. Like
swoosh handle. Perfect swoosh handle. This is a perfect set. This is a perfect set, in my opinion. Six figures that go with it, plus the seventh as the special figure, right? 7 minifigs, a play set, a pretty model, all the greebling, all the detail inside, and $160. This is a perfect set. This is a perfect set. This is one of the best slam dunk Star Wars sets I've seen in a long time.
Compared to that $90 episode 1 diorama you paid for the other day.
Right.
And it's like, it's just amazing. It'll always amaze me how you can have a set like this with the value so very apparent in the price, the model itself, and then you have something like that.
Right.
Like that episode 1 diorama. That's just like, man, this does not hit. This is not substantial.
And I really wanted to like that. And I'm sure I'm going to love the build of that diorama, and I'm going to love it looking at it on a shelf and everything like that. But my God, that was a missed opportunity, is the best way I can put it, for the stuff they could have done with that diorama and chose not to do with that diorama. And then that price, you look at it and you get something like this that's got a ton of play features, and it's and the difference is one comes in a black box, one comes in a blue box. That's one's the display adult set, one's the fun toy that applies to. I love this. I love this set. It's we're not talking about exclusive figures or anything. I mean, obviously the Cal Kestis is in there, but we're not worried about any of that stuff. These are a bunch of Imperial officers, Imperial captains, and stormtroopers, and gunners, and all stuff that you can even build out a fun minifig army with. It's designed to be a fantastic toy, a fantastic entry toy, and realistically, it's a big, I know you said it's smaller than what you remember, but this is a bigger set. Like, this is a nice size overall set. This is take my $160 right now, Lego. This is a fantastic.
Lego is hitting equilibrium between the Rex drama and how amazing that set is for what it is.
Yep.
So we're right back in the middle, and then you're skewed back because there was a $150 book, and then you go back on the other side. So it's always this nice ebb and flow on the pendulum.
Right. There's a weird ebb and flow going on. And I feel like that's something that we're going to. There's just so much to talk about this week that I couldn't fit everything in. We couldn't fit everything in. But there's a lot of other Star Wars sets that are coming out that you look at some of the stuff, you scratch your head a little bit, and you go, what? Because you see things like this come out, and you're like, well, that makes sense, but then this Mandalorian set doesn't, and it's just some weirdness. But we'll definitely, next week, I think we're gonna have a good opportunity to get into more and more of what some of this weird pendulum stuff LEGO seems to be rolling out with. We have a cat problem. We have a cat problem here, folks.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Sweet Christmas.
Listen, this was an idea set. I saw the renderings for the submission, and the renderings of the submission, I was like, it just didn't, You know what it reminded me of? You know what the renderings reminded me of? It reminded me of one of those old door stops that your grandma and grandpa had, right? They'd always have like a statue of some kind of animal or something, a goose, a duck, turtle, something, that they use. That's what this reminded me of, the original submission. LEGO definitely took a hold of the idea, and they LEGO'd it up a lot, and I feel like they cleaned it up a lot. I'm not a cat guy. I want to run as far away from this thing as I possibly can. It embodies a feline, because you look at it and it just looks like it's judging you. It looks like it wants to murder you or poop in your soup. I'm not sure which, or maybe all three.
There's a massive issue with this, and any and every single time you do a domesticated animal to put out as a kit in some capacity. You get the people. I've seen it everywhere, from conventions to the LEGO store, beyond. Oh my goodness, that looks so good as a cat. I wish they would make this breed. I wish they would make this style. I wish they would make this in this color. You will never be able to satisfy everybody with like what you put out into. And there is nothing to me specifically pulling me toward like a tuxedo cat as opposed to a different breed of cat. Like, why was it this cat? Why was it, and why was it changed from the original submission? So there are people out there, there will always be these types of people that want their version of a thing. And I feel like this is for a very specific type of person that maybe has a tuxedo cat and affinity for them or whatever. I don't know if you're a cat person that you're going to go out and buy this. I know I don't mind cats. I have a cat from my children's book series that's blue. Why didn't they make a blue cat? That's my cat. Why didn't they make a blue cat? So I'm not drawn to buy it, even though I guess I'm a cat person, even though I don't have a cat. So I can appreciate that they took another design from somebody from LEGO Ideas and made it into a thing. But I don't get why they have this. They did that with Brickheads a little bit. They had all these different breeds of animals and like different types of animals in general, through Brickheads being like, $10, $15. That's fine. You can really bang out a lot of different breeds and whatever that way. It's great. But with how much is this set? I forget.
$100 US.
$100 set, you'll never cover the ground. And if I were in charge, I'd be like, you know what? We can't cover the ground. We're not making 15 different cat versions of this variants. Don't bring it to life, but good for the people that want a tuxedo cat, I guess.
Yeah. Not that I feel like this is a downgrade from the original submission, but this is a very massive departure from the original submission. How does that work? Does the designer have to sign off on the new one, or once they sign over their design, is it just kind of out of their hands at that point?
Once they submit it to LEGO Ideas, if LEGO chooses to move forward with it, they can do basically whatever they want, and they don't have to abide by anything the designer says. I think they give them a courtesy of letting them know, this is what's happening. We'll take any feedback for what you got, but ultimately it has to hit the product standard of whatever LEGO has on their docket. That's happened a bunch of times. Things have changed. I mean, look at most recently D&D, right? You had a green dragon and it transformed into a red one, and there was all these things added into it.
Right.
And if you're in a position where you're working even remotely closely with Lego designers, you are not going to say, this doesn't adhere to my original vision. You're going to go along with it, and you're going to take your 1% cut and enjoy the process and submit something else that maybe is a little bit more in line with what Lego is already doing that matches your creative vision, and try to find that middle ground. That's just a creative process too. You're not going to get exactly what you put out into the thing. A lot of times it's going to be adjusted for one reason or another. So it doesn't surprise me.
It is interesting. They allowed, or not allowed, but they included, two different sets of eye pieces, so you can change the eye color depending on if you have.
Where's the ability to change for two separate colors of fur? Because my cat has a different color fur.
Well, that'll be next year's model, just like the parrot. So they're going to go from a pink parrot to a blue parrot.
So that's different because it's an exotic animal to me. That's fine. Domesticated animals, people have much stronger affinity for their
pet. The real question I want to know is how many people that already have cats buy this set because they're a cat lover, and how many of those cats knock this cat over?
Well, Aaron Preston, who's watching live, will be doing that. So let us know, Aaron, and anybody else out there.
I'm just curious. And you can mix and match the eyes, obviously, if you wanted to, which I think it's cute touches. It's not as nightmare fuelish as like some of the other animal, like a rocket, like the rocket set that came out, you know what I mean? Like that's not, I don't look at this and go, ugh, it looked like they did the face really well. It looks like a very judgmental cat, like a cat would. But that's my problem with it, is I don't want this inanimate cat constantly staring at me as if it's judging me. Like I'd get that enough with a live cat. I guess if you're allergic to cats, maybe this is how you get your judgment on a regular basis. I'm not sure.
I can just talk to my mom.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you can just talk to your mom. That's also a thing. You know what cat's not judging you though, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, is Simba. The lovable. So Lego did something very, very, very interesting here. So we got an announcement and a release for the Lion King Cub set, a 6+ set. And I know as a Disney fan, I was kind of excited about the idea of a Lion King Cub set, or Lion King, Simba set. And we got the release, and I saw the imagery, and I kind of went, ugh. Speaking of nightmare fuel, like it just didn't look right. There was something about it that didn't look right. And I showed it to my wife, and she kind of went, ugh. So I was like, well, I guess we don't have to worry about buying that one. This is totally fine. It's smaller. It's a smaller price set. It's, it was who the audience was for, but I thought that's interesting. I didn't expect that to be the big Lion King set that they, kind of have been talking about and we've been waiting on. And then boom, out of nowhere, Lego hits us with the actual 18+ Simba set. My God.
I want to publicly thank Lego for, after nearly 20 years of working so closely with Disney in so many respects, they finally pulled their head out of the Serengeti and did a Lion King set.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Why did it take this long? And as a sidebar, I really wish, I'll give my thoughts on this in a second. I really wish, Zach, with all of my heart, with every ounce of me, that they did this, but for Stitch. And they made a big Stitch like that, because that would have tickled me. I've watched Lion King, I've watched all the spin-offs and stuff as a kid. It's very interesting that they're doing both at the same time. I think that is what Lego needs to do way more often, because too often you get the younger kids that are like, yo, this is cool, but I'll never be able to afford that. And then they'll release something cool and new down the line. They'll even forget about this. It'll be a white whale. But now you have the $40, $50 version. What's the smaller version going for?
The smaller...
I think 40, 50.
I lost it. I closed the page.
Oh, that's fine. So something way, way more cost effective than a giant Simba that we see here. You get two different things. I agree. The
20.
This is the
20.
20. Oh, perfect. Are you kidding me? Dude, that's like stocking stuffer, Santa brings it, whatever. But this definitely is you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about in every way. So, which one are you? You can leave that up for your interpretation.
That's
but
the best analogy ever.
If you're satisfied with the $20 version, you live your life how you want to, man. Meow meow. So
that was the best analogy ever. That was great. I am with you. I think if they had, it's a missed opportunity once again. If they had done something like this with the Stitch, think of an adult Stitch set that had, you could customize. You could have removable arms. You could have arms. You could have the antenna.
The antenna with the blasters and the red jumpsuit. Oh,
or you could take them off and turn them into the dog Stitch, right? Like, yeah, I like that. That would have been done. I mean, that's again, print money, no brainer. And but again, I don't understand. Like, they have stuff like this already planned out. It's not like this stuff wasn't already cooking. This was already working. They already had this idea ready to go with the two Simbas. They frankly chose not to with Stitch. Now, we have a live action Lilo and Stitch movie coming out. Maybe, they are timely and they do something there. I don't know, but I'm just saying they have another opportunity to fix this, where they've given us the smaller one for a while and then the big one later.
We don't go into the leaks and rumors and stuff. However, as part of this big onslaught of stuff that was precariously dropped probably over a year ago at this point, this Simba was one of them, alongside The Legend of Zelda Deku Tree, which happens to also be part of my partner incentive unlocking plan here. So we are one step closer. We're one step closer, man. Keep your eyes on August, September, baby, because if you see Mr. O'Brien with a purple check mark and that news starts to bubbly, ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby.
This is, again, without getting hands on this specific model or anything like that, it's $130 US. This is a knock out of the park just from the overall box art and things that I've seen so far of it. I love that they've given us this option now. I was originally bummed because I thought the $20 Simba was our Simba. I thought that's what we had. I thought that's what we had to live with. Boom. They give us a nice 18 plus, Simba that I can be proud of. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to build this, and I cannot wait to see my wife yoink this out of my hands. It
screams Zach M. Rutledge to me. I wish I cared about Lion King enough in like my life in general. Like I said, I've watched it. I like it. But like, I want to see you build this as the Disney person in my circle. So
yeah, this is gonna be great. And I got to get all my time in with it before my wife decides to yoink it. Both sets release June 1st. So you guys get to pick and choose. June 1st.
We were talking about what's happening in June, man.
I'm telling you, Lego, listen, I think Lego's watching the show. I honestly think Lego's watching the show because we called them out.
Where's my castle? Where's my castle? Where's my castle? Where's my castle?
We called them out. We said, look, you guys are already talking about stuff in August. You forgot about the J's. You forgot about the J months, the June and Julys. Where's all the stuff? And literally within a couple of days, skadoosh, they just dropped June on us like a bad habit, man. It was just like, what happened? What are you doing? This is crazy. So we've got kitties coming out, and drum roll, please. I don't have a drum roll button, but we've got a couple of.
Whoa, that's a scary one, Mr. Watling. Gross.
Listen. I appreciate you people out there that maybe are all about this Mona Lisa set. That
all three of you
cannot wait for this Mona Lisa set.
Let me cook, Zach.
Listen, I'm just gonna,
Let me cook. So, first of all, we have two Lego sets featured here as part of this segment. There's Notre Dame, and then there's the Mona Lisa art set. Notre Dame.
Right. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Sorry, I haven't seen it in person. I'm not cultured. Okay. Notre Dame is a great addition to like what they've done with Big Ben and Taj Mahal and all, like, you know, Seven Wonders of the World territory, right? You know, like a fitting version of it. And they definitely needed to let it cool from, like, you know, it being burned down. Are they done with that yet? Is that done?
I don't keep up with my Notre Dame news on the Twitter.
Somebody let us know if it's done. I think it's close to being done. So they had to let it cook for a little while. Totally cool. More beige, and if you've been there before, if you're on holiday, you see it, pick it up, cool, whatever. It's just another thing to take up space on your coffee table until you replace it with something else. Mona Lisa, in my opinion, should have been one of the first LEGO art sets to ever come out. Probably the most iconic painting of all time. And it's taken them this long to do it, but, you know, better late than never. This is a similar issue they had when they released the Statue of Liberty. Getting facial details on like more classically articulated like face, it's just tough. It's really tough, and they're really going for minimalist here. I love that they have the gold border surrounding the Mona Lisa. It's a decent size, but man, whatever, like they're like, it is so unbelievably difficult to do a 2D face at that scale without having the image protrude off of the canvas. It is so difficult. And clearly something is missing from here. They're trying to go for something, you know, you'd kind of see in like a video game, like a low render version of it, just to like represent the thing. You look at it from afar. And I think if you look at it from afar, it'll look, you know, way better seeing it in a LEGO store and whatever. But again, it's one of those, if you've been there, you're probably getting it. How much is the Mona Lisa? I forget.
Mona Lisa